3. We're recording again. It's Tom, it's Justin, two of the guys who just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. Today we're doing some more short ribs, and this short rib topic is what, Justin?
The cost of the carnivore diet.
Yeah, we get asked a lot. Is it expensive to eat carnivore?
Yeah, and I think people, they think of meat as going to buy meat, and they don't buy it often enough. They're not hunting for deals on meat. Sometimes they're looking for something on sale. Usually people are getting flat meat and stuff like that. And, people just go, it's most convenient for them to grab their cereal, to grab their vegetables or whatever, and just go up to the whatever meat counter or the store that they're used to shopping at and just ordering some meat there. So they're not actually focused on shopping for meat. It's kind of like a side thought. At least that's how I shopped for meat before going carnivore. And so the question of the expense of the carnivore diet, it honestly depends. A, what you're trying to do, B, what's around you, and C, what your goals and concerns are. And when I say that, what I mean is, listen, you can spend probably $1,000 a month if all you ate was grass-fed, organic ribeyes from Whole Foods, because they can be like $18 a pound, $19 a pound. Or you can go and you can find ground beef for sale for $2.98 or less, sometimes $1.99 a pound. That's like,
yeah. And our buddy Brett's been eating ground beef and bacon this whole time for like 3 years. That's all he's eating. So, and he buys it in bulk at Sam's Club. Doesn't spend a lot.
Right. And sometimes, like I said, you can get something for like $2 a pound that is, like 70, I think it's like 77% fat to, or like 77, I'm getting it all mixed up. 77 like protein to like 27% fat or whatever it is.
Right.
I can't math, but yeah. And, you can do that. There's sales, sometimes you can find nice ribeyes or New Yorks for roughly $5 or less a pound. And those are really nice. I've done tons of those.
Yeah. And like we were saying in the other video, shop the ads, that the sales are coming up because the holidays coming or whatever. Right. So you can get premium cuts for $5 a pound, if you keep your eyes out.
But the thing is that the savings come with longevity. And what I mean by that is if you're a person that's been sick and you're having to get prescription medications, or you're having to take time off work to go to the doctor's office, or you're having to call off work due to your illness, that is money in your pocket that you no longer have, right? And so that's a loss, and if you go on carnivore and you heal and you're not going to the doctor as much, or if at all, and you're not most people that go carnivore are not on medication, so you have no prescription pickup monthly that you have to pay for.
At the very least, you tend to need less medication, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so there's savings there. If you're no longer taking off days off work, that's extra money in your pocket. And so it really is, you're changing your paradigm in the way that you're thinking of, and, you're not buying soda, or at least you shouldn't be. Again, you can eat however you want.
No soda, no potato chips.
Right, exactly. You're not doing those, getting that suckered into all the bakery stuff and the candies at the end of the
Butterworth.
at the end of the shopping trip that's right there in front. And, you don't have to pick up your weekly ad of Veg News Daily either. That's there at the counter.
No Cozy Shack. Yeah. So, we can easily eat for what? Probably a cheap day is like $7 and an expensive day is like $20. You can eat carnivore per day easily, right?
Right. And many of us also throw in fasting, or, if we miss a meal or we go a day without eating, it's really not a crisis. There's been several nights where it's like, would I rather sleep or do I want dinner? And it's like, I'd rather sleep. So then I end up just not having dinner that night, so that's actually saving. So I believe adding it up overall with all the lifestyle changes, you're definitely coming up ahead.
Yeah, even if you don't really fast, a lot of people on carnivore, they just eat once or twice a day. So you're actually, because meat is so nutritionally dense, you don't need to eat as much. So that's the other side of the coin. You're not going to eat the same volume of food as you would if you had been eating wide variety of foods. And part of that is because a lot of the other foods are not as satisfying, and they just don't, and they're not as satisfying because, one, you're not getting enough animal fat, and two, you're not getting enough of the nutrients because they're not densely packed into the food, so your body tends to want you to eat more. But when you cut out the variety, you realize, oh, I'm just buying meat. So if I spend $10 a pound on ribeyes, I'm only going to eat a couple a day for the most part. Sean Baker can eat more than that, but most of us don't. So most of us eat like 1 or 2 pounds of meat a day, and that's all we need. So, and of course, the ribeye is kind of like the most expensive cut typically. So anything less than that, you're just going to save more money. As long as you get enough fat. And like we said before, you can usually get fat trimmings from the butcher for free, or for very little, like $2 a pound or whatever. So you can do this without breaking the bank. In fact, most carnivores say they actually spend less money on food now than they did before they went carnivore. It's a really common sentiment. So
I'd say a ballpark value that's totally reasonable is $10 a day. I would say eating is
yeah,
probably
you could eat
decent.
really well for $10 a day, especially if you like things like, you can be eating bacon and sausage and like eggs. Eggs are a good deal, and now even expensive eggs. I bought an 18 pack of the cage-free organic free range chicken eggs, and it was like $7 for 18 eggs. That's still cheap eats. It's not a lot of calories, but it's an enormous amount of nutrition. So yeah, you can do that, and you know,
And, and
but
and if you are one of those that believe they might have nutritional deficiency or are worried about nutrition, organs are cheap. Liver is cheap. Kidney is cheap. They got tripe at Walmart now. Liver's the most nutritious thing you could probably eat. Um, by the ounce, I would imagine.
yeah, it's got a
Uh,
lot of vitamins packed in there.
So if you are concerned on the nutrient front, I mean, that makes it even cheaper actually, because you can get a lot of nutrients really easily just for some cheap organs if you want to go that route.
All right. Well, thanks, Justin. And
Mhm.
thanks everybody for watching another one of our short ribs. We hope we answered some questions out there for some people. Kindly send the link on to other people who enjoy it or learn from it. And until next time, eat some meat, feel better, and whatever you do,
Don't
don't
fall
fall
down the
down the
carb
carb.
hole.